And welcome to everyone who's new to Pod Plus. Today we're going to talk about energizing you to energize your work. And this is Sarah's idea actually to come on the podcast, because we were getting a bit of a sense that, I don't know, people are feeling a bit tired. Don't know, are you feeling tired? I'm like ready. I am ready for some kind of summer. We've actually cleared our diaries a little bit in August so that we can create some new stuff, because we're just finding we need our energy to do our best work, like many of you will as well. So it's something that's on our mind. How do we energize ourselves? And it's definitely something that lots of people are talking to us about, like just feeling a bit tired, feeling like, the last 2 years, life taking its toll. And so we wanted to do a podcast which was sort of about, well, how do you energize yourself outside of work to create the energy that you need inside of work? So that's what I want to talk about today. I'm going to sort of get you to assess the 5 areas that we focused on the podcast. So don't worry if you haven't like listened to it yet. You never have to have listened to it to come to Pod Plus. But then what I thought we could all do is just help each other a little bit. So rather than me doing like a repeat of what we talked about on the podcast, I thought we would assess the 5 areas that help you to energize yourself outside of work, just see where we're all at, and then go through each one in turn, find out who finds it hard, who finds it easy, and then just learn from each other. I'll explain as I go, but basically, get ready to contribute, everybody. This is a learning community. It's a learning Thursday. Right. So first of all, let's talk about the 5 areas that we think contributing to energizing yourself at work. So things that you can do outside of work to energize yourself within work. And what I was sort of hoping was, as I talk them through, maybe if you've got a pen and paper, maybe you could do yourself a little spider diagram like this one, and score them as we go, so we can get a bit of a sense of which is an area of strength for you and which is an opportunity for growth. So the first area that we thought contributes to kind of your energy levels inside of work is when you invest in deliberate rest outside of work. So deliberate rest is a single activity that you do that consumes your energy and attention. So it sort of turns off the noise of everything else, like work and life. Like, so some people talk, for example, they talk about like gaming or cooking or exercise, but something that you can do. And when you're doing it, you're so like in the moment that it allows you to sort of dial down the noise of everything else that's going on in your day to day. So this idea of deliberate rest, like what is that activity? Do you know what that activity is? And do you prioritize it outside of work? As a Cat, for example, says playing music. Yeah, I love music. What you listen to at the moment, Cat? Let us know. So give yourself a score, like 0 to 5 on a scale of like 0 is sort of, this is not an area of strength for you at all. Like you don't know what this looks like for you. Maybe you do know what it looks like for you, like Cat, play music, but you don't make time to do it. And so I think I'm pretty good at this. I'm going to give myself a 4 out of 5. Deliberate rest for me is things like reading, going on the Peloton. Loads of you will know that if you're regular, but I do make time for that stuff. And I know how helpful it is for me. Watching too much Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, as long as you can do that without multitasking. I struggle to like watch TV without doing 101 other things. So good for you if you can just like zone into that thing that you're trying to do. Next one is about kind of goal setting, going after a goal, but outside of work. So goals keep us really focused. So let's say maybe you're saving for a new house, or you've got a renovation project, or you are working towards a big trip that you're trying to do, but some kind of personal goal that you are focused on going after outside of work. I am a bit hopeless at this. Most of my goals are work related. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because my personal ones are like too big, like getting a new house that I can't afford for about 5 years. So I just sort of kick it down the road a little bit. But if you've got a personal goal that you can focus on, it can really help to sort of put work in perspective a little bit. And when you achieve that thing, it gives you more energy. So Steve's talking about exercise. Over the pandemic, all my clubs shut down. I'm finding it hard to get back into it after setting into my new routine. Well, Steve, we're going to talk when we go through the areas. Maybe some people in the community also have some ideas for you, because I wanted to get a bit of kind of input for everyone else. But give yourself a score, everyone. Do you have like a goal you're going after that is purely personal? Whatever it is, have you got one that you're going after that's purely personal? Do you focus on that? Because it's a big part of how we find our resilience. In the past, I found these goals distract from work. Well, I guess it's whether it's a useful distraction, Lucinda, or not. The research around it says that it can be a very helpful thing to have goals outside of work that you're going after, because it reduces your dependency on work being your sole source of achievement, is sort of what we're trying to get at with this. I won't remotely say my goal is to meet more people outside. Is the goal, if the goal is a new job, is that personal or work? Sarah, interesting. I mean, I would say probably that's a worky one, but you know, maybe it's a subjective thing. Maybe it depends why you're doing the new job. Number 3 then, everyone. Number 3 is all about your relationships. So do you invest in relationships outside of work that give you energy? You know, we've all got relationships outside of work. Not all of them give us energy. But do you have like those radiators in your life outside of work? I guess the first question is, do you have them? The second is, do you prioritize spending time with them? Because we energize ourselves more when we do. Making my house a place I love. It's a long project. I love that. Yeah, so do you have those? You know, are you part of some communities that aren't connected to the job that you do on a day-to-day? Hobbies. I was thinking about you know, people that, who was it, wanted to be outside more, like dog walking. Who was it? Oh, Sophie, I don't know if you've got a pet. Might be a good time to get a dog, because you could probably spend more time outside and meet lots of people at the same time. Maybe that'd be quite a positive thing to do. Kat says it's so easy to substitute WhatsApp chat for actual time with friends when busy. Yeah, that's very true. Okay, so the 4th area, my relationships outside of work. I'm going to give myself a 3. I think I spend quite a lot of time with people because I like people, but probably they're all vaguely connected to work in some way. So probably I could do with some that are very disconnected from work, like not in my world of work, not part of work. Probably like people I meet outside of London would be, because I don't live in London, so generally if I'm meeting people in London, there's some kind of connection to work. So that's probably a good way for me to sort of measure, am I spending time with people outside of London? And my 4th one then, volunteering. So really shown the benefits of volunteering in terms of meaning, in terms of motivation, perspective and purpose. Volunteering makes a big difference to people's energy levels, helps them to feel like they're contributing something bigger than them and definitely bigger than work in itself. So in terms of volunteering, is it something that you do? Like, and it's not a worthy thing, like no judgment if you don't. It's just, we know that it helps your energy outside of work. So I'm going to give myself a 3 on this. I do volunteer because I'm a trustee of a charity, but I think I could do more. I think I could actually do more with my family, more with my friends. I think there's more volunteering that I could do that would help me if I made time for it. So I'm going to give myself a 3, do a bit of it, but could do more. Give yourself a score. And then last but not least, curiosity. So this is really about learning, connecting, asking questions, you know, spending time in worlds outside of your own, to learn things that aren't necessarily immediately relevant for your day-to-day, like just for the love of learning, just for the joy of growing new knowledge, as we say before, collecting dots so that you can connect them, but not in really constrained ways, like not collecting dots just about what you do, just learning for the joy of it. So give yourself a score there. I think I am relatively good at that, relatively good. So in terms of how I spend my time, in terms of my personal reflections, there are some areas that I have of strength there in the things that I spend time with, which would re-energize me. And there are some areas that I've obviously got a bit of a gap. So the clear one for me is to have this probably a goal outside of work that I'm going after, and maybe some people that I build relationships with outside of my world of work. Out of interest, I would love to know, which do you think is the area that you could most do with focusing on? And we're going to do that with stars on the screen. So everyone who knows how to star, stick your star on the screen with the area that you think, this is where I need to put the most focus. Anyone that's new, that's like, what is the star on the screen? If you go to the top of your Zoom screen, view options, and then annotate stamp and star. So review options, annotate, stamp and star. You'll be able to find these stars that everyone's doing. And if you can't find them, don't worry. It's just so that we can get like a bit of a sense of a group of what's common, what's different amongst us all, where might we all need to help each other a little bit. I am just going to make sure I've got someone in my team who can let people in so I'm not distracted by it. Lovely, Sarah. I'm making you co-host, so if you wouldn't mind letting people in, that'd be brilliant. Okay, cool. I can get rid of that now. What can I see? What can I say? Oh, volunteering. That's exciting. So the biggest area of focus for people is volunteering, followed by goals. What I thought we would do now is we would go through each one of the, oh, Angela, don't worry at all. It's just that we can get a bit of a sense of as a group with what's common and different. So I think we've got that. What I'm going to do now is I thought we'd go through each one in turn. I have a quote for you, like a memorable quote. Should you like a quote? And then I thought we'd look at who finds it hard, who finds this area easy, and what ideas have we got as a group. So we're going to be pretty pacey, everyone, so that we can cram as much like knowledge sharing, curiosity crowdsourcing in as we can, and just help each other with this. What's our everyone's a learner, everyone's a teacher, so we're all in that mode, I hope, today. Let me remove all of your lovely stars, and we are going to start with this idea of rest. For anyone listening to the podcast, we got very philosophical. Socrates came in quite a lot. And there's a quote that features in You Coach You, actually, from Socrates: beware the barrenness of a busy life. And I think it's you know how we sometimes glamorize being busy? You know, I'm so busy. Sometimes I say it without even thinking. And it's the idea that actually busy doesn't always mean full and fulfilling. Busy just means you're consumed by a lot of doing. But doing is not always the best thing for us. Rest is a very important thing for us to make time for. And so it's just kind of this idea of deliberate rest can sometimes be a boundary to all the busyness, and that's why it's so important for us to do. Now, what I would love to know is who finds deliberate rest easy, in which case you're going to stick a star on the green dot, and who finds deliberate rest hard, in which case you're going to put a star on the red dot. So who's got like something they're like, I know what my rest looks like and I do make time for it. So let's just get a little bit of a busyness is seen as a status symbol. Yeah, it was often seen as a status symbol. You're right. I think we kind of need to sort of ban busy. Graham Alcott talks about it quite a lot. He's got a great business called Think Productive and a book called The Productivity Ninja. And he often talks about this idea that we need to get away from, you know, busyness being a badge of honor. Okay, so we're about 50-50 split, everybody here. So some 50% of us are like, I find this really hard, and 50% are like, I know what this looks like for me, and I find it kind of something that I can go after. Right, all of you green dotters, we need your help. Give us some ideas. The people that find this easy, what is your deliberate rest, and how do you protect it? Head into chat and let us know. We need to borrow a bit of your brilliance. If you are in the green dot, let us know what you do. So we've got cooking, lovely. What else have we got? Bike riding. Emptying the tissue as far as I get. Walking, running. Okay. Reading. Oh, lots of reading. And how people that have got all these brilliant ideas. Okay, thanks, Steve. This is what I was looking for. So Steve says, in order to protect the time for these things, because there's knowing what rest is, and then there's like protecting the time for it. Steve says, set time in your diary to be away from work. Make it clear to people that you are gone at that point and try new things to see what works. Some 3 really nice ideas in there. I would fully support Steve's make it clear to people. Probably not just that I'm gone at that point, but I would make it clear to people that it's really important to me. So for example, sorry to bang on about Peloton, but Peloton is not just a nice thing for me to do. When I have done that, I feel better. I feel more, weirdly, like I feel more focused. I feel like my energy gets a bit unhelpful if I don't Peloton. Like I get a bit antsy, but when I Peloton, it's like it gets that antsy energy out a little bit for that like half an hour, 45 minutes, and I come away a lot calmer. And explaining that to Sarah, because Sarah knows now that I don't just get on that bike because I like music, I get on it because it is good for my health, mental health and physical. She understands that not to contact me if that's in my diary, that is not that movable. And so I think, as well as telling people that you're gone at that point for whatever it is you're doing, letting people know what you're doing and why it's important to you can often mean that they are more likely to help you to protect that boundary as well. So that would be, because sometimes people might just see it as like, oh, going for a walk is a bit of a luxury. Like Sarah goes for a walk, she sent me a message yesterday, and I know that that's not a luxury for her. That is something that is mentally helpful for her to do. Onyeka says, borrowing this idea from James Clear's Atomic Habits, I have activity zones in my home. Lovely idea. So I walk away from my home office during my break to go for a walk, read magazines, etc. Really nice idea. So almost like zoning your house, so you can do different, you get into a mentally different space when you're in a physically different place. Kat talks about accountability. Brilliant, everybody. Might be worth saving. What's Laura's? 1 to 2 nights a week, go to bed at the same time as the kids. I love that idea. Gosh, I should do that. I said to my husband the other night, he's not bitten this yet. I was like, so on a Wednesday last night, we have like a no TV night with my children. And so we play, I'm a bit tired. My little boy wanted to play Scrabble last night. And I was like, I am really tired and you are really good at Scrabble. But I was thinking that me and my husband could also have like a no device night where we just have to talk, novel, or just, you can read or do whatever you want, but like a no device night might be helpful. Brilliant. All right, I'm going to move us on to the next one because we have 12 minutes and 4 areas to help each other with. So the next one was goal setting. Nice quote here from Tony Robbins that goal setting is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. So kind of if you've got a nugget of an idea, a gem of something you want to go after, like creating the goal is what gets it to be more tangible, more likely something that you do something with. So who at the moment finds goal setting, they've got a goal, they're going after a personal goal, that's a green dot. If you're like, I've got my goal, I'm focused, I know what it is, it's outside of work, I'm going after it. And who, a bit like me, finds this one a bit hard. I don't have a goal outside of work that I really focus on. I love that, Angela. Lovely. We made plans. Exciting. I'm a 12-week learn to row class. That's exciting, Corinne. Good luck. Okay, green dotters. Give us some ideas. What can we do? How are you finding these goals? How did you set your goal? How do you protect your goal? What is your goal? Let us know. We've got more people who are in the red dot than the green here, so we need your help. Okay, so Jessica's like, start with a personal interest. So training, that seems to be one. So we've got a sporting one there. So we've got triathlons. What is helping you, Jessica and Kat? What's helping you commit to your goal? Oh, okay. So talk about it, keep it front of mind, sharing it with other people. Actually, the research on goals does say that when you talk about it with other people, you're more likely to commit to it. So go after your goal, but share it with other people. Friends again. So you've got accountability partners. I'm torn on this one. Steve says, I've got languages I'm learning and courses I'm doing, but none of them are final goals, no exams or end point. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? The just to go back to Onyeka's reference to James Clear on this, it's less habits, which obviously his book more about goal. But when I spoke to him on the podcast, he talked about the difference between having almost like tactical goals versus emotional ones. So he said, if you want to go after a goal, you need to connect with it emotionally. So it's not just, I'm going to save £10,000, which is sort of a tactical goal. It's almost like you connect it to your identity. So it's almost like I'm a person who invests in my future. Do you see the difference? Rather than I am going to save £10,000, which is quite tactical, you will or you won't, might be some other things you want to spend that money on. But if you say to yourself, I'm a person who invests in my future, or whatever feels like more of an identity based thing for you, apparently psychologically it's more likely to help you stick to your goals. Dave says, I write a lot about my goals and how I feel about them. Maybe that's the same thing. Maybe that's the same thing, Dave, like connecting the emotion to it. Rosie talks about mini goals. Obviously, as well, there's like loads of apps, isn't there? There's one called Everest, for like kind of goal setting, and it keeps you towards it. Building in Flex. Yeah. There was a great that's nice, Corinne. A great HBR article on anticipation. talking about great HBR articles, everybody. I've heard that some people called Helen Tupper and Sarah Ellis might have a new HBR article coming out next week on how we can reimagine retention at work. So look out for it. We're doing a podcast, obviously, on the topic of helping people squiggle and stay, which is very linked to it as well. All right, brilliant. Let's move on to our next one, everybody. Our next area is relationships. Lovely quote here from Margaret Heffernan, that we need to build relationships beyond the ones that you need today. I think a lot of us focus on the relationships we need for what we're doing right now in work and out of work, and don't necessarily invest in the ones beyond that. Who finds it easy? Oh, where are my dots? I've lost my dots. Wait, let's put some dots on my screen. Here we go. Who finds this area easy to invest in relationships outside of work? That's your green dot. And who finds it hard? Who finds it hard to build relationships beyond the ones that they need right now, maybe for their work and their life? Oh, lots of us finding this one hard. This might be the most stars we've seen on the hard side. So the people that find it easier, you green dot group, what do you do? How do you find these people? How are you spending time with people outside of work? Is this hobbies? Is this hobbies related? I moved to the area and all my pals are from work. I found it really hard. Yeah, okay. So it looks like COVID has played a role in this. I find, I mean, I'm sorry if you've not got kids or dogs, maybe there's an alternative. I do find that I don't have a dog, but a lot of my friends that have dogs have like found communities outside of work, like through the dog world. Like they've connected, they have random conversations, they've made new friends. Now it's probably really bad advice to say go get a dog, but I do know a lot of people that have found dogs. Maybe you could do like borrow my doggy. You could like, sort of pseudo dog ownership as a way of like meeting friends with people. And I have found like actually through my children, when I do go to, like tomorrow night, for example, it's Cricket Friday in my village, and that has been quite a good way to connect with people that are very much outside of my world of work. But obviously, if you don't have kids and you don't have dogs, what else do you do? I guess sport would be one. Pod Plus, that's lovely, Parji. Come to Pod Plus. Invest in older friendships. I guess you mean longer term friendships, Laura, rather than an age dimension on that. Means traveling to see them, booking meets in advance. That's lovely. Weekly walk start. Tanya, that's a nice idea. A weekly walk started in COVID with a friend. That's a lovely idea. I've made a new friend on the Bumble app. Anne-Marie, I didn't know that. That's amazing. Oh, that's a brilliant idea. I've made a new friend on the Bumble app. They have a friends section, not just for dating. What an amazing idea. I don't think people know about that, Anne-Marie. I mean, I say that, I didn't. I'm no guru of all knowledge, but I think people would really like to know that. I'm going to share that on social later. That is lovely. Maybe I'll go meet a friend on Bumble. My husband will be like, what are you doing on Bumble? I'll be like, meeting friends. Fun. Okay, everybody, let's move on to the next area, just to make sure that we can squeeze it all in. So our next area is, why is that all doing that? I must have gone a bit wrong. Volunteering. Got two more, volunteering. So I love this quote from Audrey Hepburn. You've got two hands, one for helping yourself and the other for helping others. Lovely idea there. So I know volunteering was one of the areas that people wanted to focus on. So who finds volunteering hard? I know this is going to be a lot of us. Who does it? Who, honestly, do you do it well today? You're like, I do volunteer, I make time for it, I get the benefit from it. And all you green dotters, let us know how you found your volunteering. Did you go on a website? Did you contact someone directly? My own experience here is I started with a thing that I'm passionate about, which is, work people. And so I volunteer for a charity called Working Families, because I did want to do something that was connected to my kind of personal passion. And it is obviously a little bit connected to work. But the way that I kind of have volunteered for that charity is I got in touch with them and said, I'm interested in supporting you. Trustee roles, if anyone wants to volunteer as a trustee for a charity, they tend to come up every sort of 2 to 3 years. Most trustees are on a rotation. So every year or so, they're always looking for new trustees. So you might just want to, if there's a charity you're passionate about, get in touch with them to sort of signal your interest. And it might not convert immediately, but just know that then when they do have a trustee that might be looking to move on, they might get in touch with you. So it's worth doing it proactively is I guess what I'd say. Anya could say, I just quit my voluntary role. It was more of a drain than a radiate, and I didn't feel like I was giving my best. Well, I think that's really honest, Anya. These things, they should energize you, and you should feel that your energy is helping the people that you're trying to support as well. So I think that's really honest. I probably will change my volunteering again in the future. I'm not going to always volunteer for that charity. I'll volunteer for a different one so that I can keep my energy up and keep kind of new ideas going. Amy says, combine volunteering and hobbies. Chair of our German Twinning Association and volunteer as a run leader at my running club. Onyeka found her through a university alumni network. Brilliant ideas, everybody. I put it out on LinkedIn that I want to be a mentor. Anne-Marie, that's like the speak what you seek till you see what you said. It's quite brave to do that. I mean, but that's like saying, I want to volunteer. This is an area I'm passionate about. Can anyone connect me to an opportunity? I mean, why not give that a go? Like, what's the worst that can happen? Someone goes, oh, what a helpful, curious person. It's not a bad outcome to get, is it, from a LinkedIn post? I volunteer as part of a marriage counselling group. That's very interesting. And I like that, Kat, like moving away from formal volunteering to informal. Like if you shifted the definition of what volunteering could look like, what further opportunities could it create? Really nice, really nice. Okay, one more, everybody, in our final 2 minutes. Let's talk about curiosity. The brilliant Ken Robinson said that curiosity was the engine of achievement. I kind of think of it as the gateway to growth. I'm not trying to compete with Ken Robinson on his quotes, but I always think about curiosity as like the gateway to growth. If you're open-minded, like you open opportunities, is kind of what I think. Who finds curiosity easy? So we're thinking about learning new things, connecting with worlds outside of your work, just, asking questions. Who finds this an easy area? Who finds this hard? Who's like, I don't make time to be intentionally curious. It's not something I put on my to-do list. So this is probably the greenest dot, I would say, for all of us. And also probably a little bit biased by the fact that you're here. Like, you are a curious bunch of like-minded learners. This is a very biased question. But other than joining things like Pod Plus and talking to people that you didn't know till you were here, what else do you do? How do you connect with your curiosity? What keeps you curious? Share your wisdom with us all. What do you do? I think I use personally tech and communities. That's probably what I do. So tech helps me do it efficiently. So like I've told people before, I use this app Feedly every day that curates loads of stuff for me. So that helps me learn loads and keeps me connected to curiosity. And then I would say communities. There are lots of communities that I'm part of that with people that do very different jobs to me. And I love learning from them. But I think as an extrovert as well, that works for me. It might not work quite so well as an introvert. I'm dragging Sarah along to a meeting later on where it's a curious meeting, and I know she's going to hate me for it. She's always trying to get out of it. But subscribe to the Week magazine. That's a lovely idea, Laura. I think Sarah had this one called Stack as well that used to send her a different magazine every month. Finding people who know how to do something and asking for tips. I had a flute lesson with a friend for fun. I love that, Kat. I love that. Yeah, we sometimes talk about squiggly skill swaps, like outside, like what's your skill, and do a swap with somebody could be a really nice way to do that. Seeing things for the first time aided by my children. Lovely. Just randomly while you're doing this, I'll let you know, follow on Instagram to see how this goes. So this weekend on Sunday, I'm presenting in London at something called the Sunday Papers Live. And I've got to take my children with me because I've got no childcare. So I'm going to put them on the stage with me. We'll see how this goes. This could be an absolute disaster. But I was like, do I leave them in the audience? Risky. Or do I bring them on stage? Equally risky. I've gone with the bring them on stage option. I'm going to put my little boy Henry in a t-shirt with a staircase on it, and my little girl Madeline in a t-shirt with a squiggle, because I haven't got a screen, and so I'm going to bring them into the presentation. I mean, this could be a complete disaster. Follow on Instagram for more, everybody. Follow on Instagram for more. Okay, let's leave it there now. I am going to save this chat because your ideas are brilliant. I'm going to join Bumble. Thanks, Michaela. Michaela's just like, good luck with that. I love it. I love it. Yeah, thanks. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to bribe them with like a bag of Percy Pigs. What could go wrong, everybody? I mean, my career. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. It's lovely to spend time with you all. I'm going to go and do some presenting now to the very lovely Microsoft podcast about coaching. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you again very soon in Pod Plus. Thank you for being here. Other alternatives are available. There are loads of alternatives. Yeah, my daughter doesn't actually like them, to be fair, but I will get them something else. Anyway, take care, everybody. Speak to you all soon. Bye for now. Bye, everybody.